So I would like to start with some updates from the GGOS Bureau of Products and Standards. So as you know, the BPS is shared by Technical University of Munich, and further involved partners are the GFZ Potsdam and the German Aerospace Center in Oberpfaffenhofen. Three GGOS components are associated to the BPS. We will have presentations on each of this component during this session, so I will not address the topics of this GGOS component in my presentation. And the BPS also comprises representatives from the IAG services and the IAS Convention Center, and also representatives of external entities that are involved in standards and conventions. So, for example, ISO and the IAU Commission A3 fundamental standards. So this table here shows the representatives of the IAG services and the other entities involved. So on top, the representatives from the geometric part, then gravity part, and in green, the other entities. So the overall mission of the BPS is to support GGOS in its key goal to obtain consistent geodetic products describing the geometry, rotation, and gravity field of the Earth, as well as their spatial and temporal variations of these parameters. This is illustrated in the graphic which you see here, and this was already shown by Laura in the first presentation today and also explained in detail. So I will not address this graphic in this presentation. And on the left side, you see the objectives of the BPS. So first, it's a contact and coordinating point for the homogenization of geodetic standards and products. And the key issue is to keep track of the adapted standards and conventions across all IAG components. And a further topic is to motivate the development of new integrated geodetic products that are needed for earth sciences and society. And the topic which was already discussed quite deeply in the morning was the outreach. So the BPS also contributes to outreach activities to make geodesy more visible. And for the consistency of geodetic products, fundamental requirements are reliable reference frames, common standards and conventions, and also the application of consistent models for the data analysis and product generation. This was also shown already by Laura in the morning presentation. I just would like to point out a few statements here. We have seen already that we have four main goals of GGOS. Each goal is completed by 4 objectives. So in total, we have 16 objectives, and for all of them, implementation actions have been defined. And then each implementation action comprises several activities following the SMART criteria. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And in total, we have defined 64 implementation activities, and each are assigned to a GGOS component. So the BPS is responsible for 11 activities and contributes to about 20 further activities. And on the next 2 slides, I would like to give a summary on the 11 activities of the BPS. I will not go in detail here because this is extracted from the implementation plan. So you can get all this information in the implementation plan. So it's just a brief summary here. You see here the red numbers for the first action 3.1.D, and 3 is the goal 3. 1 is the objective 1 within this goal, and D is the sequence of the activities. Activities here on this view graph are related to the overall topic standardization, integration, and optimization. And you see also the time frame, which is proposed for performing these activities. And we have also identified performance indicators. And this is somehow important to measure the progress of the GGOS components. And I would like to mention in the past, we have had implementation plans for each GGOS component separately. And now for the first time, we have a joint implementation plan where we have common activities and where we very clearly see also the interaction between all the different GGOS components. I will address a few of these activities which are shown here on the next slides in a little bit more detail. And I would like to mention that the last 2 actions here will be addressed in the presentations by Urs Marti online, and then by Mike Thomas, who is here in the room. So this is the second slide with the activities of the BPS. So here the key topic is GGOS requirements and essential geodetic variables. There we have 4 activities related to this topic. And then we have another activity related to communication, education and outreach. So these are the 11 activities where the BPS is responsible. And then we see 2 further activities. The lead is in that case by the GGOS coordinating office. And the second one of those is led by the United Nations Geodetic Center Global Geodetic Center of Excellence. I listed them here because the BPS is contributing to these activities, so to GGOS outreach activities, and there's a strong collaboration also with the GGC. So now I would address some activities in a little bit more detail. So one key activity is the updating of the BPS inventory of standards and conventions. As you know, 2 versions have been published so far in the Geodesy handbook 2016 and 2020. The contents of this inventory you see here on the right-hand side. And now we are preparing an updated version of this BPS inventory. So the idea is to shorten the general parts in order to avoid duplications with the previous versions of this document. And we are working on the identification of missing topics regarding standards and products. And we are also working on the consideration of other products, for example, atmosphere products, sea level, ice melting, terrestrial water storage, just to mention a few examples. And the key idea is to merge the next version, the updated version of the BPS inventory, with the work which is done for the definition of essential geodetic variables. So we want to merge this to task together to get and to include that in the inventory. It is planned to publish this updated document There are two options as a scientific in a scientific journal or as part of the updated GGOS 2020 book. This is not decided yet. The essential geodetic variables will be presented by Thomas Gruber just before the coffee break today online. But I have two slides here on this topic to address some issues. So now we have October 2024, the white paper on the definition of essential geodetic variables has been sent to the GGOS governing board just beginning of this month, and it will be reviewed by the governing board until end of October. And then we will revise the document and we will ask the IAG Executive Committee for review. And another topic which need to be done then is the definition of requirements, needs assessment and gap analysis, and the generation of fact sheets for the essential geodetic variables to make them more visible to the community outside, also for non-geodesists. And then a second slide on the EGVs. I would like to point out here that there are overlaps with the essential climate variables and the essential ocean variables. You see on the right-hand side that there are 6 essential geodetic variables also defined by the climate observing system, and 2 of them are defined also by the ocean observing system. And important for the future is to communicate the contribution of Geodesy to the other 2 observing systems, to the climate and ocean observing system, and to strengthen the interaction between GGOS and the climate and ocean observing system and the group on Earth observation. In a recent meeting which we had with the United Nations GGCE, Nick Brown suggested also to provide policy briefs for the EGVs to make them also visible on the political level. And I think this is a really excellent idea. And also the work on fact sheets would be important for the future to further promote the EGVs. This you know, or I think this is a summary of the product descriptions which are now available at the GGOS website. It's in total 23 descriptions. For the definition of the EGVs, we have defined 18 and related to 53 products. And an important task is to update the product descriptions and to generate new descriptions to be consistent also with the definition of essential geodetic variables and, as already mentioned, fact sheets for the EGVs. Now, just an example for a fact sheet which has been generated for an essential climate variable, sea level. There's a general description, a nice figure, and an important part is information about the products which are related to the essential climate variable, and important are also requirements. And we will also work on requirements for the essential geodetic variables. Here's an example for a product description which is available at the GGOS website, and you see the layout is already quite close to the fact sheets for the sea level from the climate system. So we have a good starting point. What is needed is here the relation to the geodetic products and the requirements. Just one slide to summarize some of the BPS contributions to GGOS outreach. So we contributed to the GGOS website, and we will contribute to the GGOS portal. We contributed to GGOS videos, which has been published as on YouTube, and which I think was quite well recognized in the community. Then one slide on the collaboration with the Global Geodetic Center of Excellence. So one important activity was information gathering from the IAG services for the mapping of the global geodesy supply chain. We had virtual meetings with the IAG services to address the status, the needs, so which products are provided, what are the users, what are the costs for the supply chain, and we focused on 5 areas: evidence, resources, governance, capacity development, and awareness. And this was important input for the documents of the GGCE. And so this is my final slide, and I would like to stop now.